Namaste, lille besøgende. Jeg er taget til eSports i Vancouver, og det er for at se på FIFA til Vita.
So David, FIFA for Vita, why isn't it just called FIFA 12?
Well, when we developed, we were developing in parallel to FIFA 12, but we wanted to make sure that when our users took a look at the handheld football games, that they weren't just thinking, oh, it's just the same old FIFA 12 game just on the handheld. What we really wanted is for them to know that this is a definitive way of playing FIFA with your handheld. We wanted them to understand that the rear touchpad, the shooting in the rear touchpad is much more accurate. You can pinpoint wherever you want to do a through pass on the front touchscreen. You can throw in using the touchscreen. You can switch your defenders just by touching on them. We wanted all of that to come out, and we just didn't want to be part of the FIFA 12 family in that sense.
But the whole thing about everything being touch now, it seems more of a gimmick, because when I played now, I turned it off pretty fast. Don't you think a lot of people end up doing that?
Some people might. So when we were developing, we found that about half of the people really like the rear touch pad versus the front touch screen, and half of the people really liked all the controls on the front touch screen. So this is kind of an experiment for us as well to see where our users are going to go. If you don't like any of the touchpad, sure, if you're a hardcore FIFA fan that wants to play like the PS3, then go ahead, you can turn off both. But once you get used to it, what we found out is about an hour of gameplay, a lot of our users start using the rear touchpad with the shooting and found out that they can be much more creative with their shooting. Accurate shot right in the lower corners, a very strong shot in the lower corners is something that you couldn't do on the previous FIFAs. So by doing this and also those sublime through passes into where nobody's really looking, and then your striker just running into that point and just taking the hard strike on goal, that's something that I think we can provide with the touchscreen that we've never been able to do that before. Some people might not like it, but I think it really opens up the door to different types of gameplay.
You know, what is the hardest thing for you as a developer when you try to boil a really big game from a big console down to a handheld version? What has been like the craziest thing or hardest?
Well, when we first started out, the gameplay tasks, it was taking up a lot of CPU, and we were really wondering, is this going to be possible? But we have an excellent team, we had great support from Sony, and after a while the possibility looked much more plausible, and now we have a great game running the next-gen AI with a lot of optimizations that make it even more fun. And it's always challenging to do a new hardware, but the rewards that we get when we finally see it working and we get our users in front of it and play test it and they enjoy it, it's great.
What is to you the Vita's strongholds against things like the iPad?
I think the rear touchpad and the combination with the rear touchpad and the front touch screen is going to be a real eye-opener to a lot of users. If the games, not just our game, but if any other games can really use this to their advantage, I think it's a definite great weapon. I think right now we have great graphics and great gameplay. It's one of the strongest handheld dedicated gaming machines out there. It is the strongest gameplay machine out there, so I think it's a definite contender to people who really want that next-gen experience, the Gen 3 experience in their hands and a portable.
There's been a lot of talks about people being forced to developers for the Vita being forced to using the touchscreens in order to even make a game. Did you have the same situation?
We were lucky, actually. When we first heard of this idea, we said, okay, you know what? With all the iPhones out there and people are so used to the touch interface, now we have a rear touchpad. This is a really great thing for us. This is a really interesting thing that we can use. So we were planning to do that all ahead. So when we told that to Sony, they were just like, yeah, sure, it's a great idea. We really want you to do that as well. And we hit it off well. So for us, it wasn't a requirement. It was something that we wanted to do.